Hello, welcome to the Soulprint Minis. This is being recorded on the 15th of June. You will see it on Thursday the 16th. As promised in my previous video that was released a little bit earlier called Legal Team, I'm going to specifically take a look now at Boris Epstein. One of the things that is endlessly fascinating when you watch the people who circle around Trump is how inevitably they think they're special. And they think that they're not going to get treated the way their predecessor did. So apparently, Boris Epstein is not taking any cues from Michael Cohen, who ended up in jail. Apparently, he thinks that that's just not going to happen to him. And I'm not suggesting it is, but I am suggesting that at some point he's probably going to do something that Trump doesn't like or views as not as loyal as he should be. And he may very well get bounced, get into trouble. I don't know. Let's take a look, shall we? Here we go. Boris Epstein going forward, Boris Epstein going forward, Boris Epstein going forward. You know, interesting. I think for sure, I believe 3 of the minis, but possibly all 4 that I have done so far, this 8 of Cups keeps showing up. So that's interesting. But let's get to the beginning here. So what you're starting with is the Queen and the Page of Wands. All right. So not necessarily bad cards, but the energy that I'm getting from them has more to do with Boris's ability to say what Trump wants to hear and his ability to block what Trump doesn't want to hear. What Trump doesn't want to hear is the reality of his legal situation. But Boris is just all about keeping Trump happy. He's all about making sure that the emperor doesn't realize he has no clothes on. And so that's what's so attractive to Trump about Boris is that he says what Trump wants to hear. And listen, we already know that Trump has selective hearing, right? He really only hears what he wants to hear. But Boris has become very, very good at making sure that Trump gets to hear what he wants to hear, and Trump does not have to hear the things that are going to upset him. Which is part of the reason, I suppose, that when those indictments came through, he apparently was shell-shocked. Like, how dare they? How could they do this? You kept talking to me about the Presidential Papers Act. Like, what the hell's going on here? Well, what's going on is that Boris seems to be completely controlling what information he gets. And that has caused, of course, a tremendous, tremendous amount of strife and fighting and disagreements within that legal team that seems apparently to just be diminishing by the day. But again, it's that card. Like, listen, you got to give Boris credit for this. He has figured out exactly what buttons to push and not push with Trump. And when Trump sees him being aggressive and standing up for him, he's in the money. He's not going to stay in the money. He's not going to. At some point, I suspect it's when justice becomes real. When things start really, really feeling real. That he is going to be I don't know him. Was he the coffee boy or something? And ultimately, he's going to have to leave. And the thing of it is that he really and truly is going to end up quite brokenhearted over it. I mean, Boris truly is going to see his political or legal aspirations being shattered. So, whatever hopes he had, whatever dreams he had was going to come his way because of this extreme loyalty to Trump, ultimately, like every other one, is going to end up hurt by it. He's you know, he's trying to do that whole mercenary thing. It's not going to work. First of all, I don't believe that Boris Epstein is smart enough. He certainly does not have the experience. Apparently, he's never tried a case. He's never been in a courtroom. So, what the hell he's doing, telling courtroom lawyers how to conduct their defense is just beyond, I guess, most people's rational thinking. But right now, he's safe. But he's not going to be safe for a whole lot longer. If I kind of have a feeling that when the January 6th investigation is closed and those indictments come out, I think that's going to be where he finds himself, being relegated to paperboy status. Ultimately, he gets a death card. Ultimately, his services are not going to be required or needed because he's going to have disappointed Trump. And so, like everybody else, he's gone. I don't know if you can see this. If you're familiar with the Rider-Waite deck, of course you know this, but this figure that's kind of under the horse, that's Boris. All right. Thank you so very, very much for being here today. I really appreciate the support, the kind comments. I appreciate all of the thumbs up. I appreciate just every little thing that you guys bring to my life. And I hope that in return, I make some of your days a little easier, perhaps give you some clarity or insight, and maybe hopefully bring a little bit of a smile to your face. Take good care now. Bye-bye.